Okay. Well, I'm Izzy, and I go to Clinton High School, like in Union Square. Um, Anything else?
Like how old you are, uh,
I'm 17. I'm going into senior year, I
where
think.
where you're from, maybe.
Um, my dad's from Oregon, so I'm half American, and then my mom's Colombian. But I was born and raised in the city.
All right, Michael, you can go now.
Okay. All
And I was born in Brooklyn. What else? That's pretty much it.
All right. Well, the next thing would just be it's tell me about your upbringing. Like that one of it was where are you from? What is your house like? Who's often in your house, either living there or visiting? So, Michael, you want to go first?
So, my house was pretty good. I had my mom, my dad, step brothers, you know, and I I lived in Brooklyn. Then I moved to Queens, Far Rockaway, Queens. Then I moved to St. Albans, Queens. Then my mom and my dad got divorced, and then my mom took us to East Harlem, and then she took us to the Upper West Side. But we was always good and all that. So yeah.
right. So my turn.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I was born in Manhattan. I My first apartment was like in Midtown, and then when I was 4, I moved to the Upper West Side, and I was living with my mom, my dad, my sister, and then I also had my aunt living with us because she was going to college, so she took care of us for a long time because my mom worked a lot. Um, by the time I was like in 5th grade, she finished college, she moved out, and then I've stayed on the Upper West Side with my parents and my sister. And my upbringing was pretty good. We've lived in the same place, same house for since I was 4. So,
Uh-huh. What about any communities that you felt a part of for your like?
do you want me to start or do you want
Yeah,
me to
it
go?
could be like you guys try to
Just
have it more like a conversation between the two of you. Like,
okay. Okay, sorry. Um, well, I think that in terms of communities, I've really always associated myself with like the Colombian side of me. And there I would go to like to school there every summer, even like when I got out of school here in New York, I would go to school there for the summer, and I always like established a community there, and I had like, I don't know, my ethnicity is something I've always felt really close to. And then of course I have a community here in New York, but I think that kind of what I'm proudest of is my community in Colombia. So how about you?
So for me, it's Trinidad. My mom and my dad is from Trinidad, it's Tobago. So I've been going up there since I was a little kid, and yeah, all my cousins and aunts and uncles are up there.
Do you go there like a lot? Like yearly
Uh,
or
I used to, but now, not really. But I am a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, I'm a citizen of Colombia too. I have like the citizenship there too.
Yeah. So this is a kind of a big question, but did you have a happy childhood, and why or why not?
Um, I can start. I did have a happy childhood. Like I said before, like my mom did work a lot, so I was with my aunt a lot, but I loved her growing up. Like she was like my biggest role model ever. And then like once she left, like I was already like old enough to like kind of move past that, be like, okay, she's having her own life. And like of course, like I fight with my parents, whatever. But I've had a pretty good childhood. Everyone's pretty united in my family, so
Yeah, well, yeah, I had a good childhood too. You know, it, yeah, basically, yeah, I had a good childhood. You know, my mom always came through, got me what I wanted in time. And
Yeah. So what were you like in lower school and middle school, and even a little bit of high school, but mostly like in school when you were younger? What were you like?
do you want to start, Michael? I feel like I haven't started.
I was always quiet, so no one really had a problem with me. I had a couple fights in middle school and in elementary, but it's just the area. People like to start shit, so you know. I went to middle school in East Harlem, where I moved, right? And my God, I hated it, but I met some people along the way.
Like, why didn't you like it? Was it because of the fighting and stuff?
Yeah,
Just
there was always some type of fucking drama or something, that I always like found myself in. Then, you know, I was a fat kid back then. I was fat and I didn't even like myself, you know.
yeah, I get it. But I don't know. How did you like move out of that then? Because you're saying back then, like you got into fights. Like, do you still do that, or have you like grown out of that?
Oh no, I actually got into. It was just one fight in high school. I only had one fight in high school, right? Um, Junior year, like this year, right? This is one fight. That was it. So I'm doing pretty better now.
Yeah,
So it's not like I caused any.
that sounds better. Well, for me, I was a student. I would never get into any like physical art altercations, but I would I was involved in a lot of like I don't know, petty girl fighting, but nothing I don't know. I think that the one problem with me as I guess a student or just a person in school is I did get into a lot of just like drama. But when I stray away from that, I tend to be a good student. Like when I don't let that affect kind of like how I'm doing in school. Like in elementary school, like I was pretty responsible. I remember, like from what I could remember, like I always did my homework and I behaved, I guess. And then middle school, I was responsible, but like I said, a lot of drama. Ariel knows. And then the high school like changed a little bit. I became a little bit more irresponsible, but I started off strong. This got worse.
Um, how would your friends describe you and family describe you? Two different questions.
So like my friends would say that I'm quiet, I guess, and I'm a good person, and my family would say that quiet, and, I do my work, and yeah, you know, just basic stuff. That's all.
Well, people would say the opposite about me. I'm not really quiet. I speak a lot, sometimes too much, I think. And I think that my friends and family would kind of agree that I always stand up for myself. Like I don't ever like shy away from things or anything I believe in, but the thing is I sometimes have trouble picking my battles, right? Like I sometimes I have trouble just stepping down and knowing like what's like not worth it, you know? But what else? I think that my friends and family would also say, they have said that sometimes I care a lot. Like I'm a very emotional person. Sometimes it's a good thing and sometimes it's a bad thing. But that's something else that I think is kind of key in terms of me. And that's it. A lot of the things that like people would use to describe me are polarizing. And I think that a lot of people see me in that way. Like I think a lot of people really love me or they don't at all. So and I think it's been like that. So that's I think that's how people would see me.
Did you like school and do you like school like today?
I can start. I I did like school when I was younger. I was always really excited about learning. And I think that still I get those moments where I'm really excited. Like when I have questions that are like super interesting or I get really engaged in, I get like excited to go and learn and all that stuff. Cause like I like to feel smart because like who doesn't, right? But sometimes like the stress, like what like makes me hate it. And I hate kind of how the system works too, I guess. I think that it school a lot of the times isn't trying to teach you to be smart. I think it's teaches you to like, I don't know. It just becomes so robotic and it's less about learning and more about just like memorizing something or a test, forgetting all about it and doing it again. And I think it's like when it's not a priority to make it an engaging environment and like actually teaching your students things that are important, then I don't really love it. But I there's always those moments where I do something that or like we're doing something that's like actually like I'm passionate about and like is more than just like memorizing something for no reason to just get a good grade. You know what I'm saying? So, but overall, I like
Yeah,
it. Times it's
yeah. For me, school is all right. Um, what I will say though is that our school is it's kind of just like all the basic stuff, right? And it's nothing really special about our school that makes me want to like school. So yeah, I just go to school, do the work, bam, that's it. It's not like I really like school, but I have to if I want to get like a really good education. And that's all it is.
yeah, and that's kind of what I'm saying. Like you're saying, like you're impartial to it because you go to school and do the work. You know what I'm saying? Like and that's what's interesting because it's like school should be more than that. Like yeah, like you're learning by going and doing it, but like it should be an environment where people want to like entertain you and make students passionate, right? Because if
Yeah,
the whole point of school is to like um kind of facilitate us with what we need to kind of build a career in the future, they need to start creating something that is engaging and we can be passionate about if we want to be successful later, not just work to do. And like your answer is kind of exactly what I was trying to talk about before.
Yeah.
You know?
So the next question is a little bit of a goes in a different direction, but it's just, do you believe in UFOs?
I don't know.
Or how about UFOs, and then it's like also, do you believe in an afterlife? I feel like that's a better question than the UFO.
Afterlife is tricky. What do you think, Michael?
Maybe. So, like, if a UFO came here, right?
Yeah.
Would they like make the news or something? Or, like, why aren't they showing up? Then, like, people always have like these shitty ass camera footage of so-called UFOs, right? But I don't even know. I don't even know what to say.
What about afterlife? Afterlife is interesting.
Afterlife, you know, I think so, but I'm not sure it's gonna be like, I don't know, all white and walking in, I don't know, robes or something, you know, like
Right.
heaven and hell.
Yeah. It's not going to be the way people make it out to be if there is one. My answer to that is weird. I always think about it, right? Because I grew up Catholic. Like my whole like mom's side of the family is very Catholic, except her. She's less. But so my relationship with God when I was younger was strong because of my grandma. But and that all comes from the Columbian side. Like they're all very religious, right? So for so long I was like, oh, I believe in heaven, I believe in heaven. But um my idea with like with the Catholic Church kind of faded away because of like a lot of the bad things that they do stand for as an organization, in my opinion, right? So when that like I started doubting that, I also started doubting any idea of the afterlife. And I'm kind of just like, and what I think a lot of the time is that people create it like in their like they create the Bible to create all these stories of what happens to us after because people are so afraid of like what they don't know, right? And I think
Yeah,
that for so long people try to create answers, right? And I think that it's like the afterlife seems like such a, or like heaven at least. I don't know about like other religions afterlives that well, but it seems like such a like ideal solution to kind of like quiet down people's fears of what we don't know actually happens. And like, of course, it would be great if it was real. And like, I don't necessarily believe that our bodies just die and nothing happens. Like, I think we have souls that go somewhere or not. I don't know. But I think that dwelling on it is also something that's just never like, we're never going to know. And a lot of the time I do. And I'm kind of just like, well, what's the point? Because I'm never going to know, you know? So I just have to accept that I
yeah.
don't know.
I'm like
I think you're breaking out a little. I don't know if that's just me.
Yeah, you're breaking out a little bit, Michael.
also, it, is it better now? Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So
Were you saying something or no?
Were you
no, I'm not.
Oh, I thought you were.
okay? I thought you were responding to me.
Yeah. Okay. So is there a single event that you can think of that shaped who you are today? And if there's not, then it's all right. But if there is, like, talk about that a little bit.
You can go first.
Me? That's hard. A single event is a lot. I think that who I am is kind of accumulative through the years, I guess. Like, my memory is pretty bad, to be honest, unless it's like the most random things. So it's like the most like important events in my life are very, I don't know. I think a lot of it is like um my ACL stuff was pretty important. I think that changed me a lot when I tore them. I think also just like ex-boyfriends and friendships. I think that kind of changed my perception on a lot of things and how I kind of move forward. And then like family things, kind of just navigating, I don't know, fights, stuff like that. And then like navigating mental health stuff. Like all of that like together shapes who I am. I can't pinpoint one moment though that changed everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I would say getting into fights. I didn't win all those fights. I got my ass beat sometimes. And also bad friends. Like I never told anybody about this. There was this one time. I'm not gonna name this. I'm not gonna put his name out there. He took some money from me, right? And just I never seen him again. Just yeah, you know. And I don't I don't fuck with a lot of people.
Has that moment like kind of affected how you trust people in the future? Or no?
Yeah, a lot. How I like my whole perception of like when people view me, right? I don't want to look like a fucking like a nerd anymore, you know? Like a fat fucking creature, I would say. Like, cause back in middle school, I would look like that, and now I don't. You know. So yeah,
And you're saying like that moment where your friend like took your money and like kind of like what like that's like obviously horrible and like did that kind of play a part in you trying to change yourself in that way? Or are you saying like everything in general made you not want to be that?
and everything, yeah, everything from fucking from people thinking they're like stronger than you in school. You know, when to size you up and all that, and yeah, it's mainly just high school that just changed me because my high school, you will be humbled by those people in there.
Wait, what school did you say you go to?
Maxine Greene High School.
Where is that?
It's on the Upper West Side.
Oh, so that's like near me, I guess.
Isn't it on like 126 in Amsterdam or something?
It's on it's on 66
Oh,
or somewhere around there.
yeah, not John Jay. MLK, Izzy?
Yeah, the Martin Luther King campus, right?
Yeah,
There's
it
like
shares
5 schools in one.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
like 5 schools on that one campus, so that's one of them.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
right next to my school, Michael. That's like 5 blocks from my school.
Which one you go to? The environmental?
No, Heschel. It's not a public school. It's a private Jewish school. but it's like right there. I walk past MLK a lot. All right. Well, the next question is, have you ever been in love? Izzy, you can go first here.
Yeah. I've been in love a lot of times. I love easily. And I don't know, intensely. So yeah, I have. How about you, Michael?
Nah.
No? Why do you?
Nah, I ain't never been in love. You know, it's mainly just hoes or something like that. Yeah.
Well, have you ever had like a girl or like a thing with someone?
Yeah.
And then what stopped you from just like going more with that? Like it wasn't your thing to be serious.
Oh my god. I don't know, bro. I'm just not ready for that.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Have you ever saved a life? Like any life? It could be like an animal, a bug, like anything.
No. I wish I could say I have. I haven't.
Not you, Michael. You haven't either. Yeah, I haven't either. That's a weird question.
Emotionally. Emotionally.
All right.
No.
The next question is: have you ever lost someone that you love?
Yes. My grandpa died like 2 years ago, and that was like my first big loss. So it sucked. But yeah. How about you, Michael?
Yeah. My grandmas, my great grandmas. I'm not even sure. I didn't even meet my grandpa. So, but he met me though, because I was like a little kid. So, yeah, that's it. You know.
How did the deaths affect you? I have like an idea of how I reacted, obviously, but I want to see it and see if it was different.
How it affected me? It didn't really affect me. It affected my mom though, because her mom died, and
Yeah. Well, how old were you when your grandma died?
I was like 10, 9, 10.
And
Did,
like,
did it affect you? How your mom? How it like? Did it
yeah.
affecting your mom affect you?
Not really. I just felt bad for my mom. That's all. I wasn't really crying or anything. Kind of just never hit.
But were you like close with your grandma?
Yeah, I love my grandma.
What happened to me was like kind of different, I guess. The same thing happened with like my mom. Like I felt horrible for her because it was my grandpa was my mom's dad.
Yeah.
But for me, it was weird because it's like it wouldn't affect me at times. Like when I first found out, I was crying and I was yelling and I was freaking out. And for the next couple days, like I was still crying, but eventually that stopped. And it didn't take a long time for that to stop. But what happens a lot, and it still happens, is like you think about it or something reminds you of it and you cry. And it's like you never, and the same thing happens with my mom. Like, I feel like in terms of her and me, and like, and for her, it was obviously harder because like it's her dad. But like, you never really, like, I don't know, get over it is what I think. If a death really like hurt you, I think it's kind of just like you learn to live without someone, but like it's still gonna break your heart every so often, you know. That's how I experienced it. But I get seeing your mom sad. Like the same thing happened to me. It was really hard to see her like that.
Yeah, we only have 10 more minutes or 9 more minutes now. So I'm just gonna skip to the last two questions, which is what are the most important things in life to you? Like in your opinion, what are the most important things in life? And then I'll ask the second one afterwards.
Okay. Well, Michael, do you want to start or?
Yeah. Being humble. I don't know. Just being a good person, you know, and just keep it real. That's all.
I agree with the keeping it real part. When people don't, it's my biggest pet peeve. And I agree with humble too. I think being a good person isn't one of the most important things. I think if you strive to be a good person, I don't know, like no one's good or bad, or well, some people are inherently good or bad, but most people are just in between. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a great human, but I'm not a bad person. I'm just like a person. So I think it's like, because good is so subjective, I would say like, I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
think that's the most important thing. Because if you strive to be good, it's just not going to be like the same for everyone else. What it means to be that, you know what I'm saying? But I think that I don't know. The most important things to me are love, like familial, friendships, relationships, all of that. I think love is one of the most important things. Like it's just driven me a lot. I think that kind of trying to maintain a sense of peace every so often, like, is one of the most important things in life. Don't get wrapped up in the chaos. Because if you do, I feel like it drives people insane. I agree with the keep it real. That's one of my biggest things. Like Michael said.
Yeah.
All right.
The last question that I'm gonna ask is what are your hopes and wishes for your future and for the future in general?
Do you want to start, Michael, or should I?
I think you should go this time.
Okay. Well, the future in terms of the world, there's so many things that could change. Like, I don't know where to start everything. I think that um in the United States, um there needs to be more racial equity, right? A lot. This abortion thing, like, gotta be fixed. Climate change, I don't know, literally everything. Like rights for everyone. I don't know. But for myself, I've always said that in the future when I grow up, like I just want to have a job that helps people, right? Like I don't know. Whatever my like I'm smart enough for in the future, like we'll see. Cuz like I want to go to med school, but like who knows if I could get in. But like that's the dream. That's the dream. Will it happen? I don't know. But
It probably will. You
thing.
know. Yeah. I hope I don't know, become an astronaut one day.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. I'm working at it. And I don't know.
What about for the world in general? Like what do you want to see in the future? Because I feel like there's so much. I didn't even know what to pinpoint.
Really don't. This world, I hope that it could, I don't know, I don't know. That's a big
Yeah, I feel
topic. Like,
many things that you could say. You could say anything. Like end world hunger.
Like, but what's one thing that's important? Like, I don't know. It's like when you think about what you want to help in the world, like what's one thing that you wish would just like you could help so much or you could make go away?
I want to help with the world.
poverty.
Harmony. Hmm, I don't know.
I think that not having money in this world is what makes life suck. I think that's the worst one. If you can't afford food and you can't afford a house, like I don't know. That's what I would fix. I think that's the most important thing.
I never really thought of, I don't know, helping this world because I don't really like. I can't even help myself. So like,
Yeah, I get that.
That's fair. That's fair enough.
all the good stuff.
I think that poverty is the most important thing. Like genuinely, just because I think that obviously there's so many issues, right? But I think that this world is so established on money that if you have money, you're fine. You know what I'm saying? Like there's still gonna be like inequalities based off like race, gender, sexuality, whatever. But in all those kind of like intersectionalities, like the most, I think the thing that kind of keeps someone by the most is having money. So if we can fix people off the streets and fix people starving, like, I don't know. But
Yeah. All right. Well, guys both for doing this conversation. I really appreciate it. It was my first one. That's like my first real one where it was between two other people and it went well. So thank you guys.
thanks, Ariel.
Thank you, Michael. Thanks.